And welcome to the Knitical Therapy Podcast. I'm Carrie, your host and Knitical therapist. Thank you so much for coming back. If you are a return listener, I appreciate it. And if you're a new listener, thank you so much for checking me out. I know there are a lot of podcasts that you can spend your time with, and I appreciate you choosing mine to trial. So thank you so much. Today, I am coming to you from San Luis Obispo. I am in my apartment again. I'm actually in my kitchen. We have a small apartment, so it's either the bedroom or the kitchen, and the lighting is pretty nice out here because we have a skylight right up above me, so there's some natural light even though I'm inside. So today is Sunday, in May 21st, I believe, and I'm here to share with you some knitting, so let me start with that. So the first thing I'm working on, as I talked to you, is my baby blanket for my friend who is having a baby back in Buffalo, New York. And this is made out of Knit Picks Felici, and this is Knit Picks Stroll. And this is the Dogwood Heather colorway, and this is the Ever After colorway. Let's see. There you go. Yeah, so this baby has actually already arrived. She was a little early, so I am working hard to finish it up because I probably will still end up just giving it to the baby when I go home in June, but I was hoping that, I figured I had some time, but I guess not, because the baby has arrived. I got a picture earlier this week, so that's exciting. My next work in progress that I've been working on is another baby blanket. This is in my Suburban Stitcher bag. Got it a couple of years ago. I think it was part of her Rainbow Along. I just like the colors and the dots motif on it. I don't think I actually ended up participating in the Rainbow Along. But this is I always show you guys the wrong side. This is my next baby blanket that I'm working on. It's a 10-stitch blanket. This is also Knit Picks Felici. It's a self-striping, and I'm only ever have 10 rows or 10 stitches on as I come along. And it's a super easy pattern once you get used to it. I added the second ball here, which hopefully won't be super obvious. I just held the yarn double there for one row, so hopefully that won't be too obvious. And then, yeah, so this baby has also arrived, and this was a baby that the mother wasn't finding out if it was a boy or girl before they arrived, so she told me earlier this week that the baby is a girl. So obviously the blanket's pretty gender neutral, as I had purposefully planned, because I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. But I hope that the little baby will enjoy that. I think the colors are really cute. I think it's turning out pretty good. There are some areas where the colors kind of get overlapped or like really close together of the same color in the next row or whatever, but that's just kind of the nature of using a self-striping yarn in that type of blanket, because you just don't know when the next one's coming in, so you can't really plan for it. But I think as it gets bigger, that will happen less and less. Let's see, the only other thing I've been working on is my color affection. And I say I've been working on it. I don't think I did too much on it, but I know last week I was a little far, so maybe you can see it a little better. The orange and dark orange. And again, I've got a green that I'll be adding in. Hopefully it'll look okay with that. This is Cascade Cascade Heritage. I always want to say Cascade 220, but that's, I think, their worsted weight yarn. So you know, it's pretty solid. It's not, no variation in the color, but I'm really enjoying that so far. This is my zigzag stitches bag that I showed off a couple weeks ago. All right, so that's everything I've been working on. Again, I've been kind of focusing on these baby blankets because now that 2 of the 3 babies have arrived, and that being said, the 2 babies who don't have blankets yet have arrived, and we're still waiting on the 3rd baby who already has a blanket finished. I gotta get going because these babies need their blankets. So, let's see, so there are no finished objects, and well, maybe next week there will be, because on Friday, Stash Dash begins. So for those of you who don't know what Stash Dash is, there is a contest put on by the Knit Girls podcast where every summer, and it coincides with the one host's summer break from school, they host, it's called Stash Dash, and the idea is to challenge yourself to knit 5K of yarn. So that's like 5,000 meters of yarn in that time. So this blanket and the other blanket, if I finish, will have a decent chunk of yarn. I don't believe, so on this one I'm holding it double. I don't believe I'll be able to count the double yardage. I think I only count the actual yardage that I knit. So I would just have to divide in half the amount of yarn I use. But that's okay. It's still, they're decent sized projects. That'll give me a little bit of a jump forward on my 5K. I think they do have options where you can do like 3K, 10K, other amounts. 5K was the original amount, and I have not done it yet. Like every year I kind of try. I usually don't post and participate a whole lot, but I kind of hang out in the background, and I do try and keep track of my knitting and how many yard or meters I've knit and everything. Oh, I've got a knot in my ball of yarn. Goodness, that came out of nowhere. Sorry about that. So I've been doing it every year. I have yet to make 5,000. I could bump it down to 3,000 if I really want to, but part of it is that it's a challenge. It's supposed to be above what you think you can do. So, and really, I've got a lot of projects on the needle. So if I finish everything, I could probably get pretty close, I'm guessing. Haven't actually done any math about it. But, so in the next week, I will be kind of looking forward and seeing if I can plan out what I need to do to make that 5,000. Let's see, I have been doing some purchasing, not of yarn, but of patterns. So I'm usually not a mystery knit along person. Nope, generally don't do it. I did it once, and actually I've done it twice. Once a really long time ago, and I finished it, but I just wasn't really impressed with the project. It was like a little bag, never used it. The next project that I did, the pattern started on my birthday, so I had asked for a kit for my birthday, and that's actually the yarn that I'm using for my Ocean Bound. So if you've watched my previous episodes, I showed that a couple episodes back. Hopefully I will get working on that again and be able to show that to you next week. But so I don't really have good luck with these mystery knit alongs, because I don't know, I feel like I guess when my knitting is kind of limited, I work full time and I enjoy doing other things than just knitting. I enjoy knitting what I want to knit. So I don't know what came over me, but this week I decided to join the Moraine Mystery Cowl, which is by the host of Kino Knits. I believe her name is Mary. And it's a single skein shawl, and I don't know, it just sounded interesting. It sounded like something that would be fun to knit, and I do enjoy her patterns. I've knit a few of her patterns. I've test knit for her before. So I definitely like enjoy her stuff, but I don't know. Hopefully I like it, because I got a coupon code for it and I decided to jump on it. That one starts, I believe it's June 6th. And I believe, and obviously this could change in the next couple of weeks, but I think this is the yarn I'm going to use for that. This is my Narwhal Needleworks yarn that I got in a yarn exchange through Reddit. So, you know, it's got some variations in purple, and I believe it said to do like solid to semi-solid. So this is about, what does it say? 462 yards, 100 grams, which it called for 400 yards, so this should be good. Obviously that could change. I have a lot of one skeins, you know, that I just bought one when I was somewhere and really liked it, so I could go through my stuff and find something else, but that's something that I'll probably be casting on in the near future when the clues come out in June. I do hope that maybe I can actually stay on top of it and stay with the clues, because that's always fun. Or I guess that's the fun part of the mystery cowl, even if you don't really enjoy the pattern, I guess. So let's see. The other one. So this is, again, I joined 2 mystery cowls in a week, and normally I don't do them at all. But the other one that I joined was the Starting Point Mystery Cowl by Avila. I have no idea what yarn I'm going to use. I'm thinking maybe the Knit Picks yarn that I bought as a possibility to switch out for the pink in this blanket. I'm thinking, because there's 3 colors, 2 purples, and then the mint. I'm thinking maybe I could use those, and then I have hedgehog fibers, which is sitting right over there, but I don't want to go out of the camera to go see it, or grab it for you, but I'm thinking maybe I'll put those together. The 2 purples are pretty close together, so that might not be the best choice, but I don't know. I think I have to do some stash diving and see if I can find stuff. I'm going home in June. I have a whole bunch more stash at home, so I might kind of go home and see if I can find some yarn at home that has some colors that would work for it. It's already started. I think 2 clues are already out for that one, and I think it actually ends in, like, the last clue maybe it overlaps with the Moraine cowl. So maybe I probably won't do it as an actual mystery cowl, but it was cheaper to buy it now than like wait for the entire pattern to be out. So I kind of jumped on it. I really like the projects that I'm seeing other people working on. It's a rectangular, I guess you would say, stole rather than a shawl so much, but I'm really enjoying it, seeing other people's projects so far. So I decided to splurge on that one. I think you need 5 colors, so that's partially why I think I need to take some time and really find some colors that I think go well together. I don't really usually do projects with that many colors. Even my like color affection, that's the most, you know, the 3 colors is the most I've ever put together in a project and made something out of. So that's that. As far as possible next projects. Let's see. I think that's everything for knitting. I have been doing some baking. I made a puff pastry dough yesterday, and then made Palmyars out of them. So the Palmyars are those little heart-shaped cookies that are all, they're kind of, I don't know, they're flaky, and usually they have some sort of sugar on top of them. I just made the Palmyars. I didn't add any sugar on top of them or anything, and they are a little, they're not super sweet. Like, they're not what I think of when I think of Palmyars. And I think I would have maybe been better to cut them a little thinner. So the recipe said to cut like 1-inch increments and then lay them down and bake them. But I think they're a little thick. I think I would prefer them to be a little thinner, a little crispier. But that's, I guess, my own preference. Everybody is probably different as far as how they prefer them. So I wouldn't say that that bake was a total success, but it worked out pretty good. They're tasty. They're certainly edible, and I enjoyed them. So I will have to try that again. The cool thing is you can make the puff pastry early, like ahead of time, and freeze it for up to 2 weeks. So I might, if I just have some free time, put together a puff pastry and save it for later. We did go on a hike this weekend. I will put in pictures from that. The place where we went was called Avila Ridge Trail, and it's right on the coast. So you literally, so like most ridges, you get on the trail and you go pretty much straight up to start with, and then you're up on top of the ridge. There's a little bit of up and down, but from the whole time you have a really nice view of the beach, or not the beach, of the ocean. And then as you go along the ridge, eventually you end up at a beach. And the trail was really nice. The only thing is with the steep inclines, the surface was getting a little tough to go up and down. There wasn't a whole lot of traction. If I could do it without going up and down those hills, I probably would do it again. We were walking, and as we were doing the hike, clouds rolled in, so we did miss some of the view for part of it. But that's okay. It was still beautiful. I got some really nice pictures. I will share those on here, as I said, and on the website. Let's see. Oh, so then we get to a beach, and we're like, okay, let's go over, and there's this sign about a cave. So we decided, well, let's go over and check out the cave. Well, we hear like music just a little bit, and we're like, oh geez, like maybe this wasn't a good idea, but whatever, like it's probably just someone listening to music sitting on the beach. No, that it was a full-on beach party in the cave with like a DJ, full thing set up. I have no idea how they got power out there, but maybe they had a generator of some sort. But it was literally just like this cave that you could walk through the cave. So it was an open on both sides type of cave, and yeah, full-on beach party going on. So we took a quick look at the view and went on our way. We ended up on the way back, rather than walking back up the way we came, we ended up walking through this little bike path that's on the coast, right along the coast, and it goes kind of through this little gated community area where there's just these gorgeous houses, like huge, insane houses. One of them was for sale for, I think it was like $5 million. I could be wrong on that, but it was a lot of money. Beachfront property, gated community, just beautiful. Like, we were just very impressed. I don't know if I've ever seen a house that big. So that was kind of fun to see. It was, it was a little weird. They like had signs all over about like private property, stay on the path, you can't walk in the street kind of thing. So it was kind of weird, but but that's because it was the gated community. And then let's see. Yeah, we didn't really do anything else exciting yesterday. We restarted our sourdough. So we made the starter and we made dough this week. We made a couple loaves. They turned out very dense. Everybody at work said they were good and that they enjoyed them, but they weren't quite what we were looking for. We think there was too much water. So we made it again last night, and we put less water. While we were making the dough, it definitely looked better. So we're crossing our fingers. We have to bake it today, and hopefully it will turn out better today. So I will keep you posted on that. I will add in pictures of our hike yesterday, and that's about it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to come over and stop by the website or Ravelry at the Knitical Therapy podcast group to cast your suggestions for a name for our sheep mascot. And I think I'm going to leave that maybe another week, and then I will make a poll so that you guys can put in your opinions of which name is going to be the winning name. So thank you so much for giving me suggestions. I think I'm also going to put an Ask Me Anything thread on there. I don't know if anybody will have anything to ask, but if you have any questions, anything you want me to talk about, anything you want me to, go into more details while I'm talking to you here, then please let me know. Again, I don't really know what people want to hear about. So let me know. And thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you next week. Hey, so I forgot to mention what I've been reading. Last week I had mentioned I was reading The Girl in the Spiderweb by David Lagerkrantz, and I had said that the third book in that series had been partially written and then finished by David Lagerkrantz. That is just wrong. That is totally wrong. The first 3 books were written by oh my goodness. You know who Stieg Larsson. Goodness gracious. So the first 3 were written by Stieg Larsson, and then the 4th book, which was the one that I was reading, This Girl in the Spider Web, was partially written on his computer when he passed away. And so that was the one that I think his family contracted out to David Lagerkrantz. He finished it up, published it. So there was a little bit of, should we be reading this book because, if he didn't actually publish it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It was in the similar style to the other 3 books. I did finish that one, and then I've restarted the 3rd book, which I thought I hadn't read, but I have read it. As I'm reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, this seems a little familiar, but I am enjoying it. So even though I don't usually reread books, I'm rereading some more books. So I got all 3 of them on my Kindle now. So I'm going to be going through that series again. I did start Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. I'm enjoying it. I've been listening to audiobook for this Girl in the Spider Web and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. And so when I do have time to sit and read, I try and get into the Water, but because my brain is kind of focused on this other storyline right now, I think it's kind of tough for me to jump back and forth between the 2. So I think I might just focus on the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series, read through that again, and then maybe go back to Into the Water. It's definitely suspenseful, but right now I don't even really know what's going on. It's kind of at that point of the book where you're getting information, but it's kind of confusing. So hopefully I will get back into that one at a later date. So thanks.